You know, one thing about the slumps, either you're there right now or you're going to eventually get there. And when you're in it, it is the worst feeling in the world. And today, we're not going to eliminate the slumps, but I'm going to help you deal with it when it arrives. You're listening to the Sales Life, a top 5% podcast in the world. I'm your host, Marsh Buice. And the Sales Life is taking the skills that I've learned in over 2 decades of the sales profession, and I'll show you how you can take these skills and apply these to every area of your life. The number one skill you need in life is the skill of selling. And selling is persuasion, using the skills of communication, curiosity, creativity, continuous learning, and productive confrontation. So if you want to have more, be more, do more, then say no more. Let's get on with today's episode. I'm a huge lover of podcasts. Those of you who have rocked with me for a long time, you know this. And I get so many ideas for future episodes by listening to other people's podcasts. And I was listening recently to Charles Schultz's podcast, The Edge of Greatness. And there he had a Major League Baseball player who was on the show. And the baseball player was talking about a time that he went 0 for 27. 27 at-bats. Nada. Just swinging at the air. And it was fucking with him, man. And in an effort to get his mojo back, dude, he tried everything. He tried wearing the same socks as when he was winning. He tried parking in the same parking spaces when he was winning. He tried to eat the same foods, wear the same underwear, all these kind of rituals and habits. He tried to duplicate those things, but nothing was helping him get out of the slumps. The only thing that got him out of the slump was he started stepping to the plate with a fuck it mentality. That was it. And see, he gave no thought to what the outcome would be. And because he had nothing to lose with that mentality, he came out of his slumps. And it makes me think back to episode 559 when I talked about chop wood, carry water. And it was Sean Green had just signed a huge major league contract. And he was in the worst slump of his life. And the only way that he could get out of it is he had to start stepping to the plate and play empty-minded. Not absent-minded, but empty-minded. The slumps are tough, man, because it doesn't make you second-guess yourself. It makes you third, fourth, 50th, 67th, 100th time. You just guess and guess and guess. And the more that you think, it intensifies the emotions and it gets worse and worse and worse. But one thing I've realized is slumps are rarely immediate. They don't just suddenly get here. It seems like it. But if you really kind of play it out, slumps are gradual. They're cumulative. Because when you're on top of the world, when you're really rolling, you tend to lose your hunger. You get complacent. You lose some of your disciplines. You're a little too sure of yourself. You stop challenging and you grow complacent. And this is the gradualness of it all. Little thin slices, man. It's those things that build into a full slump. So like I promised from the get-go, if you're in a slump, or when you find yourself in a slump, don't think for a minute that you won't get there, because you're going to get in a slump, because it has to do with momentum. There's 2 words I want you to say as you approach your next situation. Fuck it. Even when you're in a slump, I want you to disassociate yourself from the effort and the result. See, the only thing you can control is the effort. and you let the results be whatever they're going to be. As I walked into work one morning, I fist bumped one of my younger managers, and he pulled off his glasses and he said, "You know, the one thing that's been consistent this month?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "Me." He said, "I can't control the emotions of a customer. I can't control the kinds of deals that come to me, whether they're paying cash or they're financing." He said, I have zero control over that. I do have control over how I approach the situation, how I set it up, and how I deliver it." So I've been consistent with that. And his numbers have shown that. See, whatever you put in, you will get out. But here's what's key, man. Eventually. Eventually. And so many times, man, we want a 1-to-1 ratio. And we think that, okay, well, I've decided to do better, so it should get better. It's eventual. The slumps gradually got here, remember? So you're gradually going to come out of this. And it may take an 0 for 27 situation, or it may take a 10-to-1 ratio. I don't know. I don't know when your slumps are going to end, but I know how they'll end. It was episode 668 that I was talking about 1% improvement, and it's the leads and the lags. The leads are your effort. The lags are the results. And if you judge everything based on the lag, based on the result, then it's going to fuck with your leads. You're going to step to the next situation soft. You're going to pull your punch. You're going to use diminishing language. Go back and listen to episode 681 about diminishing language. And when you've lost confidence, you start using more diminishing language. To pad the rejection, you start using a bunch of filler words, and it makes it confusing. So no wonder everything gets default. The person making a decision says no. No wonder you're not getting heard, because it's confusing. You're saying, I could be wrong. I was kind of thinking, no, your message is so diluted that they're out, because you're focused on your feelings, and you're focused on, and you're looking at the past instead of solely judging everything based on the future. If that's where you want to be, then everything that you need to talk about needs to be in that direction, not back there. So you got to start stepping into your situations like you own it, because damn it, you do. You could be scared inside all you want, but you got to be neutral faced. And neutral face, I heard this phrase from Jay Glazer's book, Unbreakable. And this is what he trains his MMA fighters. Jay Glazer's one of the, he's the inside reporter on Fox Sports, but he's also got a MMA gym as well. And he coaches his guys to be neutral faced, meaning that no matter how beat and battered and whipped and tired you are, you keep a neutral face. And he tells a story about Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell is a certified badass. And one time, the fight actually should have never went on. And his camp told Chuck Liddell, "Hey, you need to call the fight." I think he had a staph infection or something like that. And Chuck said, "No damn way. I'm fighting." And so the guy he was facing, it was a brutal match. And Liddell had nothing left in the tank, but he stayed neutral face. He was so tired. He wanted to quit. He had nothing left. But in between rounds, he stood up in the corner. And on the final round, he looked at his opponent, and Chuck Liddell smiled and winked at him. And that emotionally broke the guy. The guy thought that Chuck Liddell had plenty more energy, and Liddell knocked him out. He was neutral faced. Chuck Liddell had nothing. He had zero left. God never knew it. Because, see, he came out the next round, neutral faced and aggressive, and won. Fuck it is a great ethos to live by. Don't ever let your results determine your next effort. The only way to play is BCA. Bold, confident, and aggressive. It's the only way to play. The way to maintain your, let me give you a trick. The way to maintain your momentum is to play opposite of your results. If it's bad, you work as if it's good. If it's good, you work as if it's bad. This is that 0 + 2 - 2 mentality I talk about. 0 is no matter if it was a win yesterday or it was a loss yesterday, you step into today zeroed out. None of that matters. Yesterday ended. A -2 mentality is where you work in the red. You work in the deficit. You have a deficit mindset, meaning I don't know where my next meal is going to come from. I have no idea. I don't care what's in your bank account. That's 0. Okay, because you're stepping in every single day. So with that -2 mentality, you work with a broke mindset, meaning that, man, I gotta hunt. I gotta go. And see, this is what keeps your aggression. This is what keeps your hunger. And then you have a +2 mentality. That +2 mentality is where when you step into that next situation, on the phone, in person, doesn't matter. Regardless of their status, regardless of what the current score for you is, doesn't matter. It's +2. Work as if I'm broke, sell as if I'm rich. You got to step into that situation as if you're King Kong. You've got to give the impression that if someone says no, they're missing out, not you. That's that 0 - 2 + 2 mentality I'm talking about. And when you're new, this can mess with you. See, when you're new, it's going to feel like what you're going through is eternal because this is the hardest it's ever been. It's not the hardest it's ever going to be. This is a new sensation for you. So like that professional baseball player was talking about, he said, if I was 0 for 27 in high school, it would feel like a lifetime. But 0 for 27 as a pro, that's just more like a week. And see, if you have that professional mindset, it's going to shorten down that cycle, that refractory period. You're not going to stay in these losses. You're not going to have that mindset because you've been here before. I mean, what do basketball players do? They keep shooting. Even when it's boinking and they're shooting and it's boinking out of the rim, they keep shooting. They don't call a timeout. They don't go sit down. They keep shooting. Football players do. They keep throwing. See, it's going to work itself out. But the only way it's going to work itself out is you got to keep working. And you got to step to your situations bold, confident, and aggressive. Here. Fuck it. Next. That's it. That scarcity mentality, man, it makes you scared. I mean, you got to ask yourself, is this the only opportunity I'm ever going to have in life? Hell no. Nope. Next. Fuck it. It's the only way to play, man, is BCA. So let's get out of here. Here's your TSL, never settle, keep selling question. What area of your life have you been playing scared? The only way to play is BCA. Bold, confident, aggressive. Let's go. Thanks so much for being a part of the sales life. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. Glad to have you. If you've been here a time or 10, thank you for continuously coming back. Be sure and rate and review the show. The ratings, the stars show your support, but the reviews, they show your love. And out of millions of podcasts, your words in a review could be the thing that initiates a change in someone's life because they subscribe to the Sales Life. For more resources, head to thesaleslife.me. That's thesaleslife.me, and there you will find thousands of free resources, from blogs to videos to, of course, podcast episode. Also, if you want to holler at me, in the bottom right is a mic, and that's a link from you to me. Let me know what's going on in your life and how I can help. I'm no hair, but I'm all ears. Remember, the greatest sale that you will ever make is to sell you on you. Never settle. Keep selling. Stay in the sales life.